Dear students, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Kashmir Institute of Excellence. In today's session, we are going to take care of the physics part of your class test. Let's begin with the question number 1. As far as the question number 1 is concerned, it says that which particle will reach the ground first. We are having the three particles. The particle 1 जिसको simply आप release करते हैं बेटा. The particle 2 and particle 3 उनको आप कुछ horizontal velocity impart करते हो. In fact, 3 की जो horizontal velocity है, particle 3 जो है वो ज़्यादा है in comparison to the particle 2. When you recall, अगर आप particle 1 की बात करेंगे, you have done that in the 1D. If you talk about the time taken to reach the ground for the particle 1, it depends upon, suppose the height of the point is h, जहां से आप इसको release करते हैं, it is simply given by root of 2h upon g. Likewise, अगर आप बात करेंगे पार्टिकल 2 और 3 की, recall your 2D, जहां पे आप पार्टिकल को प्रोजेक्ट करते हो horizontally, where the initial velocity is purely perfectly horizontal, तो उसके लिए भी जो टाइम टेकन होता है या टाइम ऑफ फ्लाइट भी हम यूज करते हैं, that's given by root of 2h upon g. So the conclusion is all will reach the ground at the same time. So option 4 is the right one. Next one please. The coordinates of point P in the figure shown are. ये बेटा आपका point P है, which is in fact the point of landing. इसके coordinates हमें देखने हैं. आपका origin ये है. So if you talk about the x coordinate जो कि यहां से यहां तक आएगा, that will be simply the range in the given situation. और अगर आप y coordinate की बात करेंगे, that's this one, that will be the h. एंड नॉर्मली जो है बेटा डाउनवर्ड डायरेक्शन हमारी नेगेटिव होती है, बट यहां पे आप देख सकते हैं डाउनवर्ड डायरेक्शन को पॉजिटिव लिया गया है. सो द y कोऑर्डिनेट इज गोइंग टू बी द h और प्लस h. सो द राइट ऑप्शन इज द ऑप्शन नंबर 3. नेक्स्ट वन प्लीज. An aeroplane moving horizontally with a speed of 180 km per hour drops a food packet while flying at a height of 490 meters. The horizontal range of the packet is. So the situation is like this. One of the common pattern in this case. Have a look, my people. So we are having the helicopter which is going horizontally with the velocity u, suppose, which is in fact given as 180 kph. तो ये बेटा एक फूड पैकेट को रिलीज करता है. तो आपने डिटेल में देखा होगा द फूड पैकेट विल फॉलो द पाथ लाइक दिस. और जो हाइट है एरोप्लेन की, देयरफॉर द हाइट ऑफ द फूड पैकेट फ्रॉम द ग्राउंड दैट इज आल्सो गिवन एज 490 मीटर्स. हमें क्या निकालना है? द रेंज, दैट इज दिस हॉरिजॉन्टल डिस्प्लेसमेंट. ये रेंज आपको निकालना है. फॉर्मूला की बात करेंगे तो रेंज इन द गिवन सिचुएशन इज गिवन बाय द हॉरिजॉन्टल वेलोसिटी, दैट्स u into time of flight, that is given by root of 2h upon g. So simply the substitution problem. Now you talk about the u आपको दिया गया है 180 but in kph, and in order to convert it into meter per second we will multiply it by 5 upon 18. So 18 1 hour, 18 10 hour, 10 into 5, that's 50 meter per second. So यहाँ पे बेटा if you want to hit the final answer, it will be 50 into root of 2. The height is given as 490 divided by g. Even if ज्यादा हम comfortable होते हैं g का वैल्यू 10 लेने में, लेकिन आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे 2 into 49 या 2 into 490, that will be 980. So जो ज्यादा आसान बनेगा when you will take the g as 9.8. और जब आप इसको यहाँ पे सॉल्व करेंगे बेटा, you will end with the answer, that will be the 500 meter. यहाँ पे आप देखेंगे बेटा the root of this entire stuff, that will be 10 only, and 10 into 50, that's 500. Next question please. Block B is moving towards right with the constant velocity v0. Velocity of block A with respect to block B is constrained motion का बेटा क्वेश्चन है. Have a look my people. आइए इधर बेटा, अगर मैं इस स्ट्रिंग को लूंगा बेटा, the tension in this string is my dear T. यही string यहां से जाती है बेटा, या with respect to this point I can show the direction of tension T like this, and यही string यहां से जाती है with respect to this point I can show the tension here, और यही string यहां से बेटा I will show the tension in this way with respect to this point. तो उस हिसाब से बेटा इसमें जो टेंशन जनरेट होगा that is going to be, यहां पे लिखना चाहूंगा that will be the 2T. और इसी तरह अगर हम इस string की बात करेंगे करेंगे इसमें टेंशन जनरेट होगा बेटा 2t यूजिंग द पावर मेथड और द टेंशन ट्रिक. देन आई विल गो विथ यहां पे टेंशन जो टोटल इस ब्लॉक पे देखिए t यहां से और 2t यहां से, so that will be the 3t and it is going with the velocity v naught. We are taking the dot product of the tensions and the velocity is towards right, the tension is towards left, cos 180 आएगा, that will be the -1 plus यहां पे इसकी बात करेंगे बेटा, the tension on the block A is 2t and it will move towards right, suppose with the velocity v, that's v, and angle की बात करेंगे, tension and velocity in the same direction, cos 0 is 1, that is equal to the 0. The target for v people is v first, so I can say by 2. We can eliminate the t on the both sides. तो यहां से आप देख सकते हैं यह आएगा -3 times v naught and 2 into v is 2v, वहां पे लाओ तो plus 2v बनेगा, in fact -2v बनेगा वहां ले जाके. The target for you people is v first, so v will be equal to minus and minus can be neutralized, that is 3v naught upon 2. This everybody will be expecting, या majority will be expecting this answer, but ये आपका आंसर तब सही होता जब आपको सिंपली बोला जाता velocity of the block A, but the question is velocity of block A with respect to block B. So ये इस क्वेश्चन को ज्यादा ब्यूटीफुल बनाता है because now the little idea of relative velocity, then the two guys are moving in the same direction, the velocity of A with respect to B same directions में velocities बेटा subtract हो जाती है, that will be VA minus VB. Your VA is 3V naught upon 2 minus VB is V naught only, so you will end with V naught upon 2 towards right. V naught upon 2 towards right is going to be the answer. Next question please. A particle is in a straight line motion with uniform velocity. A force is not required to increase the speed, to decrease the speed, to maintain the same speed, to change the direction. अगर आप पहले दूसरे चौथे ऑप्शन को देखोगे बेटा, they are the cases of the acceleration. When you want to increase the speed, you need force. You want to decrease the speed, you need force. You want to change the direction, you need force. But there is no requirement of force at all when the body is having the constant speed. So the right option is going to be the option third, that there is no requirement of force for the body to be in motion and the motion is uniform. Next question please. Match the following pattern. Accelerated motion means velocity is variable. Action and reaction, recalls of the Newton's third law, acts on two different bodies. Inertia, inability to change the state, and the momentum is defined as mass times velocity. So A4B1, A4B1, okay, C2 and D3. So the right option is, my dear, the option 1. Next one please. Alright, a particle is projected horizontally with a speed of 20 upon root 3 meter per second from some height at t is equal to 0. At what time will its velocity make 60-degree angle with the initial velocity? Suppose beta, at time t, at some time t, I hope this color is visible, I can change it a little. At some time t हम मानेंगे पार्टिकल यहां पे है और इसकी वेलोसिटी कुछ यूं है, दैट्स टेंजेंशियल. तो इसकी वेलोसिटी का एक कंपोनेंट ये होगा, दैट विल बी द vx माय पीपल, और दूसरा कंपोनेंट ये आपका, दैट विल बी द vy. एंड लेट्स सपोज इट इज टाइम t व्हेन द पार्टिकल इज हियर. व्हाट इज द गिवन इंफॉर्मेशन? Initial velocity is given. हमें क्या निकालना है? At what time will its velocity make 60-degree angle with the initial velocity? With the initial velocity means with this direction. So ये angle आपको बेटा 60 दिया गया है. I can have the shift of the vy in this way. You can modify it a little, it's understood. Then if you want to write down the tan of 60 degree, that will be the perpendicular upon base. The perpendicular is vy, the base is, we will say, the vx. अब यहाँ पे आइए बेटा, tan 60 is simply, I will go with the root 3 is equal to vy. A particle is projected horizontally, so इसका जो initial velocity का vertical component, that is 0. So velocity at any time will be given by dt. In fact आपके लिए लिखना भी चाहूंगा, Vy is actually given by Uy plus I will go with Ay into T, but the Ay is my people, Uy is 0 because the particle is projected horizontally and Ay के बदले आपका G आएगा, so Vy is equal to Gt, so it is G and multiplied by T divided by Vx. Motion along the x direction is uniform, so at any time the horizontal velocity be same as that of the initial velocity along the horizontal direction, that's 20 upon root 3. Now time for simplification. 20 upon root 3 into root 3 is only 20, so it will be 20 is equal to G into T. Take the value of G as 10, G1 r, G2 r, so T is equal to 2 seconds is going to be the answer. Next one please. Essential characteristic of equilibrium is simply the acceleration equals to 0. हर एक के जहन में होगा बेटा, whenever you are having a situation where the acceleration of a body is 0, the body is said to be in the state of equilibrium. There is also velocity equal to 0. It is only a case. When I'm saying the acceleration is 0, it means the velocity is constant. That doesn't mean it will be always 0. So acceleration equal to 0 is the essential condition. Next one please. When a constant force is acting, that secondary thing that it is a constant is applied to a body, it moves with the uniform. The answer is acceleration. Definitely it will be having some acceleration, velocity definitely change होगी because force beta act कर रहा है, but just because the force is constant, accordingly because of that the acceleration will be uniform or constant. Next one. A 5 kilogram mass is accelerated from rest to 60 meter per second in 1 second. What force acts on it? You talk about one of the constants of the Newton's second law. You express your force as the mass into acceleration. The force will be given by the mass of the body, if I'm not wrong, is 5 kilogram. The acceleration will be given by change in velocity. It is 60 is the final minus, it is being accelerated from rest, so the initial is 0 and the time taken to change this velocity is 1 second. So you will end with 5 into 60. The answer has to be 300. We are in the SI system, so 300 Newton. Next one please. Newton's second law of motion connects. You talk about the Newton's second law, U expressed as F is equal to dP by dt. So it relates the force and the rate of change of momentum. So this is going to be the right option. Next one please. A material body A of mass m1 exerts a force on another material body B of mass m2. If the acceleration of B be a2, the magnitude of the acceleration of A is, एक बात तो पक्की है, जितना force A B पे exert करेगा उतना B भी A पे ही exert करेगा based on the Newton's third law. So I can say the force on A exerted by B will be same as in magnitude force on B exerted by A, or I can say M1 or MA, you can use M1 A1 is equal to M2 A2. Now what is the requirement? If the acceleration of B is A2, so A2 is given, then the magnitude of acceleration of A, so A1 is the requirement. A1 will be given by M2 A2 divided by the M1. Check the options please. M2 A2 divided by M1 is the second option. Next one please. For a body of 50 kilogram mass, the velocity time graph is shown in the figure. The force acting on the body is. You want to calculate the force, you expressed as mass into acceleration. Mass आपको directly दिया गया है, but you can calculate the acceleration from the given graph. Recall from the kinematics, velocity time graph है, slope of velocity time graph gives you the acceleration. So I want to I'll write down the slope that gives you the acceleration that is defined as the tan of theta. If this angle is theta, then ये वाला पॉइंट अगर देखा जाए इसके कोऑर्डिनेट्स आपको है 2,2, आप यहां से चेक कर सकते हो. So the slope is simply the tan of 45 and tan of 45 is my people 1. So the force will be given by mass is 50, acceleration is 1. The answer is 50 newtons. So here we go with the option number 2 as the right one. Next one please. Again an asked question. The pulleys and strings shown in the figure are smooth add-on of negligible mass. For the system to remain in equilibrium, the angle of theta should be. The system, when I'm saying the system, means each and every component of the system, they are in equilibrium. अब यहाँ पे आइए बेटा, we have to go for the value of theta. इस m की बात करेंगे तो डाउनवर्ड फोर्स mg होगा और यहाँ से आपका टेंशन t होगा. इसकी बात करेंगे तो डाउनवर्ड फोर्स mg है और यहाँ से आपका बेटा टेंशन t. The first equation which I can have, in fact we can have from this, for this or this block, as this is in equilibrium, the net force is 0. So one of the weapon, one of the equation will be T is equal to mg. अब यहाँ पे आओ, the downward force acting on it will be its weight, that's root 2 times mg. फिर यहाँ से बेटा टेंशन T, यहाँ से टेंशन T. बेटा T को अगर रिजोल्व करेंगे by symmetry I can say this is also the theta. T को जब रिजोल्व करेंगे तो T का कंपोनेंट यहाँ से एक का भी आएगा T cos of theta, this one T, making an angle of theta here T cos theta, और इसका भी कंपोनेंट आएगा T cos of theta. I don't care about their sign components T sin theta and T sin theta, but as this block is also in equilibrium, क्यों? Whole system is in equilibrium, so इस पे net upward force that will be T cos theta plus T cos theta, that's 2 times T cos of theta will be equal to the net downward force, that is root 2 times, we will go with the mg. The next one please, have a look. 2 t के बदले बेटा आपका mg है, multiplied by cosine of theta is equal to root 2 into mg. We can say bye bye to mg and mg. यहां से आपका cos theta आएगा बराबर, on the right side you are having the root 2 और 2 मल्टीपल में वो डिवाइड में चला जाएगा. So cos theta is equal to root 2 upon 2. डायरेक्ट कोई वैल्यू आपके जहन में नहीं आएगा, but it can be modified a little. Cos theta is equal to root 2 by 2. I'll multipy it by root 2. I will multiply it by root 2 in the denominator as well. Now root 2 into root 2 is 2. That can be eliminated with this 2. You are left with cosine of 2 is equal to 1 upon root 2. And everybody knows cos function हो या sin function, 1 upon root 2 जो होता है that's at an angle of 45 degree. So the right answer for you people is 45. Next one. Typically upward smashing आपके पास है, the target is acceleration. तो ये बेटा आपका होगा 10g और ये बेटा आपका होगा 5g. ये आपका टेंशन T, आपका टेंशन T. अब आपका जो एक्सपेक्टेड या मैं बोलूंगा कॉमन अप्रोच है, you'll write down the Newton's second law for this one, you'll get the linear equation. You'll write down the Newton's second law for this one, you'll get the linear equation. That is one of the good way and the perfect way. But I will take both the blocks along with the string as a single system. Then the force which will decide the acceleration will be 10g and 5g. Definitely this will go down with the acceleration a, and let us suppose this will go up with the same acceleration a. ठीक है, then I can write down the acceleration will be equal to which force is favoring the motion. This force is in the direction of acceleration, therefore it is favoring the motion, that is 10g, minus force opposing the motion. ये block ऊपर जा रहा है, so acceleration is upward, but this force is downward, that is 5g, divided by the total mass is 10 plus 5, that is 15. So A will be given by 10g minus 5g is 5g only, divided by 15, 5 1 are 5 3 are, so g upon 3 should be the answer. G upon 3 should be the answer. Next one please. A block is dragged on a smooth plane with the help of a rope which moves with a velocity v as shown in the figure. The horizontal velocity of the block is if theta is equal to 30. अब यहाँ पे देखो बेटा, इस क्वेश्चन की अगर हम बात करेंगे, the string, the rope is moving towards right with the velocity v, so definitely somebody will be pushing it. So I will say the tension T in this way here. यहां पे टेंशन आपका T ये है और ये यहां जा रहा है विद द वेलोसिटी, लेट मी कॉल दैट एज v डैश. इस एंगल की बात करेंगे, दिस विल बी सिंपली द 90 minus theta. सो वन ऑफ द वे टू डील विद दिस क्वेश्चन इज गोइंग टू बी द पावर मेथड. यहां पे आपका टेंशन T है, वेलोसिटी v है, एंगल 180 है तो cos 180 minus 1 प्लस बेटा यहां पे टेंशन T है, वेलोसिटी v डैश है, एंगल इज cos of 90 minus theta and everybody must know that is sin of theta is equal to what? 0. I can eliminate the T on the both sides. यहां से बेटा v into minus 1 is minus v, तो वहां पे लाओ तो प्लस v बनेगा इज इक्वल टू यहां से आपका बेटा v डैश है और sin theta you can write that too as well. So v dash sin theta is equal to v. अब यहां पे आओ बेटा, you want to hit the final answer. v dash, the angle is given as the 30, तो यह sin 30 is 1 upon 2 is equal to v, या v dash will be equal to 2 times v. 2 times v is going to be the answer. So v dash will be equal to 2 times v. The another method you can use if you are comfortable with that, even if this is the good one. What is that? As the string is we will say it's a situation where you're having the string constraint. What is that? The string is inextensible. The length of the string is, my dear, constant. So based on that, the velocity of each and every point along the length of the string will be same. So if this is going with the velocity v here, इस point की भी velocity v, इस पॉइंट की वेलोसिटी v, लाइक दैट हर एक पॉइंट की बेटा वेलोसिटी v. अब यहां पे देखो बेटा, इवन इफ ब्लॉक यहां जा रहा है विद द वेलोसिटी v डैश, बट आई विल गो फॉर द कंपोनेंट ऑफ द v डैश अलोंग द लेंथ ऑफ द स्ट्रिंग. अगर ये थीटा है तो ये आपका है 90 माइनस थीटा, मैंने अभी भी मेंशन किया. तो इस v डैश का कंपोनेंट अलोंग द लेंथ ऑफ द स्ट्रिंग, दैट इज v डैश cos of 90 minus theta, that is again sine of theta. So directly you can witness that v is equal to v dash sine of theta. तो यहां से भी आंसर बिल्कुल वही आएगा बेटा. So v is equal to v dash sine 30 is 1 upon 2, so v dash will be equal to 2 times v. So now choice is yours. Even if I can use some kinematics also, that will be the method number 3rd, but no need at all. I think for you people, power method is the good weapon. It was by the way equal to 0. I guess I erased it. Alright, next one please. A body is projected horizontally with speed 5 meter per second from height h. So if I draw the physical situation, let us suppose we are having some building and from which you are projecting the particle horizontally with a speed of 5 meter per second and the height is h. Takes 8 seconds to reach the ground. The time it takes to cover the first 1/4 of the height is, my people, in this case your uy is simply 0. So time taken to fall through the height h, I can rate that as t will be equal to root of, we will say, the 2h upon g. Simply if the body is released from the height h. अब बोलिए सर यहाँ पे रिलीज कहाँ किया गया है? इसको तो थ्रो किया गया horizontally, 1,000,000% right, but the vertical component is, my dear, is 0 simply. So t is directly proportional to h. So I can write down the t1 upon t2. 2 and g, they are not going to make any difference, so it is proportional to h. So I can write down h1 divided by h2. अब यहाँ पे बेटा, it takes 8 seconds. I'll write down the 8 divided by t2 as such to fall through the height h. आप देख सकते हैं it is projected horizontally from the height h, and as per the question it takes 8 seconds. So when it takes 8 seconds, it falls through the height h. Suppose it takes the time t2 when it falls through the height as per the questioner, that's h upon 4 if I'm not wrong. H upon 4. From here h and h can be neutralized. So it will be 8 divided by t2. ये 4 न्यूमरेटर में appear होगा. Root of 4 is 2 only. 2 1 r, 2 4 r. t2 को वहां पे लाओ. It implies t2 is equal to 4 seconds. So 4 seconds is going to be the answer. Next one please. Action and reaction. That's your fundamental part. Act on two different bodies. 1,000,000% right. Have opposite direction. बिल्कुल सही है. Have equal magnitude. बिल्कुल सही है. So the right option is going to be all or correct. Next one please. Two particles A and B are connected by a rigid rod AB. The rod slides along perpendicular rails as shown here. The velocity of A to the left is 10 meter per second. What the velocity of B when angle is alpha? अब यहां पे देखो बेटा, A is going here with the velocity I guess that's given as the 10, and the B is going up. Let us suppose with the velocity V. अब यहां पे देखो बेटा, जैसे स्ट्रिंग्स वगैरह के साथ आप डील करते हो एज फार एज द टेंशन इज कंसर्न, बिल्कुल रॉड में भी टेंशन जनरेट होगा इन दिस वे, और यहां पे बेटा with respect to this end in this way. I will go with power method, or I can go for the we will say based on the fact that the length of the rod is fixed. अब आइए बेटा इधर, I will say here this angle is alpha, this will be the 90 minus alpha. Then what about this one? It's not theta, it's alpha. Wait on. 90 minus alpha. ये एंगल आपका होगा. ये पूरा कितना है? ये पूरा 180 है. तो ये एंगल कितना होगा? ये एंगल होगा 180 minus 90 minus alpha. तो वो कितना आएगा? 180 minus 90 plus alpha. So that will be the 90 plus alpha. 180 minus 90 is 90. 90 plus alpha. ये वाला एंगल होगा आपका 90 plus alpha. Have a look. आइए इधर बेटा. So I'll go with the power method here. The tension is T, the velocity is 10, the angle is alpha, cos of alpha. Can you help me please? Cos alpha is 60 डिग्री. cos 60 होता है sin 30 के बराबर, दैट्स 1/2 प्लस. अब यहां पे आओ. बाय द वे, अगर आप इस अल्फा को पहले ही रिमूव कर दे तो ज्यादा आसान होता. तो बेस्ड ऑन दैट, अगर ये 60 है तो ये 30 है. ठीक है, अगर ये 30 है तो ये 180 माइनस 30 होगा, दैट विल बी द 150. या ऐसे ऐसे भी चेक करो, 90 प्लस 60 दैट्स आल्सो 150 प्लस यहां पे टेंशन T, वेलोसिटी V, इट इज कोसाइन ऑफ, आई विल गो विद 150. इट इज 90 प्लस अल्फा, 90 प्लस 60 is 150 is equal to 0. I'll say bye bye to T and T. 2 1 r to 5 r, this will be the 5 plus V. cos 150 is simply, पहले नेगेटिव होगा, देन इट इज एक्चुअली साइन 60 के बराबर. या cos ऑफ 150 यू एक्सप्रेस्ड एज, आई होप आपको ये कन्वर्जन आता है, cos 150 इज cos ऑफ 90 प्लस 60. देन पहली बात, इट्स गोइंग टू बी द नेगेटिव. देन at the time of 90 it will be replaced by the sign, is minus sin 60 degree. So minus sin 60. What is sin 60? That's root 3 upon 2 is equal to 0. अब यहां पे आओ बेटा, it's 5. ये नेगेटिव क्वांटिटी है तो ये वहां पे ले जाओ आप लोग बेटा. तो ये बनेगा माइनस, सॉरी प्लस ऑन दैट साइड रूट 3 by 2 into v. जरा यहां से देखो v कितना आएगा. 2 5 are 10, 10 upon root 3. So I can write it as v will be equal to 2 5 are 10, और ये रूट 3 नीचे चला जाएगा, 10 by root 3, दैट इज क्लोज टू 5.8 मीटर पर सेकेंड. या आप दूसरा मेथड भी खुद यूज कर सकते हो. नेक्स्ट वन प्लीज. The momentum P in kilogram meter per second for a particle is varying with time t in seconds as p is equal to 2 plus 3t square. The force acting on the particle at t is equal to 3 seconds will be. You talk about, you are having a situation where the p is given as a function of time, then at that time the force is expressed as dp upon dt. Go for the differentiation. 2 की 0 और 3t square की simply बेटा 6t है. 3t square की आपको 6t मिलेगी यहां पे. So we need it at t is equal to 3 seconds. So F at t is equal to 3 seconds will be 6 into 3. The answer is 18 newtons. Check the option. The option 1 is the right one. Next one please. A constant force of 5 Newton can produce an acceleration of 1 meter per second square on the body of mass m1 and 2 meter per second square on the body of mass m2. If both the masses are tied together and same force is applied, then what will be the acceleration of the system? The acceleration of the system will be given by the force which you are applying, that's 5 Newton, divided by when you are applying the force when the two bodies are taken together. So we need m1 and m2. So based on the given data, we can easily take care of the m1. The m1 will be given by F divided by, we will say the a1. Very simple, it is the extract of F is called ma. कितना फोर्स लगा रहे हैं आप लोग? The answer is 5 न्यूटन. और बॉडी 1 में कितनी एक्सेलरेशन? 1 मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर. So you will end with the 5 किलोग्राम. m2 can be written as same force 5 Newton is being applied, but इस बार जो acceleration that's 2, 5 upon 2, that's simply the 2.5, and we are in the SI units, that's kilogram. Then the acceleration of the system will be given by same force is being applied, that's 5 only, m1 plus m2, 5 plus 2.5, that is 7.5. Now time to simplify it. कितना आएगा? You will end with 0.67 and you can have a check. I can use 2.5 2r, 2.5 3r, 2 upon 3, that is 0.66 or 0.67. That will be the right one. It is 0.67 meter per second square. Next one please. Figure shows a projectile thrown with speed u is equal to 20 meter per second at an angle 30 degree with the horizontal from the top of the building 40 meter high. Then the displacement of the projectile when it is at a height of 40 meter from the ground is. Have a look my people. So यहाँ से आप एक पार्टिकल को थ्रो करते हो, आपको बोला जाता है when it will be at a height of 40 meter, what will be the displacement? My dear, check that point when it is at a height of 40 meter. एक तो ये पॉइंट आएगा जहां पे इनिशियली था और ये पॉइंट आएगा. इसका मतलब जो डिस्प्लेसमेंट होगी वो कुछ यूं होगी. लेट अस सपोज वी रिप्रेजेंट दिस डिस्प्लेसमेंट बाय मींस ऑफ द x. अब आप देख सकते हैं जस्ट इस वाले पार्ट को भूल जाइए. इट विल बी just like the case of ground to ground projectile, और ये उसमें range होगा. So x will be given by your range in case of ground to ground, even if it is not the case of ground to ground, but बिल्कुल for this part of the journey it can be just treated like ground to ground. That will be u square sine 2 theta upon, we will say, the g is equal to, अब यहां पे आओ, u square, you are imparting the velocity of 20 with the square, that's 20 into 20 into sine 2 theta, the theta is 30, 2 into 30 is 60, sine 60 is root 3 upon 2, in the denominator you are left with the g, that's 10. अब यहाँ पे आओ, 2 into 10 is 20, 8 20 को दफा करो, so 20 into root 3 is going to be the answer. Next one please. Okay, the tension in the string connected between the blocks is, हमें टेंशन चाहिए बेटा. एक कॉम्बाइंड सिस्टम है, हमने आपके साथ ये बात शेयर की है कि कॉम्बाइंड सिस्टम के साथ डील करने का बेस्ट अप्रोच ये रहेगा, कैलकुलेट द कॉमन एक्सेलरेशन. अब आप देख सकते हैं यहां से 20 यहां से 10, तो डेफिनेटली द सिस्टम्स, द ब्लॉक्स विल एक्सेलरेट टुवर्ड्स राइट. सपोज द एक्सेलरेशन a, that will be given by the net force, 20 towards right, 10 towards left, so the net will be 10 only. There will be total mass 4 plus 2, that is 6, which is same as 5 upon 3. We are in the SI units, meter per second square, 5 by 3 meter per second square. अब आपको क्या चाहिए? टेंशन. अगर 4 किलोग्राम की बात करेंगे, this will be the direction of the tension, and if you will write down the Newton's second law for the 4 kilogram, that is net force, that will be 20 minus t. 20 minus t is equal to the mass is 4, the acceleration you have calculated as 5 upon 3. The target is your tension. So ये आएगा 20, 4 5 और 20 upon 3, यहाँ पे लाओ तो minus 20 by 3 बनेगा, minus t को वहाँ पे लाओ, that will be the plus t. 3 into 20 60, 60 minus 20 is 40, 40 upon 3. So t will be the 40 upon 3 in the newtons. Check the option please. The option second is the right one. Next one please. The value of T3 by T1 is, T3 की बात करेंगे बेटा, treat these three blocks as a single block, definitely of mass 5, 5 and 5, that's 15. So downward force 15 G होगा. So simply your T3 will be directly given by the 15 G. Then the T1, when you see the T1 here, इस ब्लॉक की बात करेंगे तो डाउनवर्ड फोर्स 5g होगा, सिंपली बिकॉज ऑफ द मास इज 5 किलोग्राम. सो T1 will be 5g, so T1 will be the 5g only. Take the ratio T3 upon T1, 15g by 5g, g and g will go 5 1 or 5 3 or, so the answer is 3:1. So 3:1 is the answer. Next one. A weight mg is suspended from the middle of rope whose ends are at the same level. The rope is no longer horizontal. The minimum tension required to completely straighten the rope is, if I draw the physical situation, so we are hanging the rope in this way initially. Then what happens? You are attaching the weight here, because of which it is no longer now horizontal. तो bend हो जाती है. The weight is mg like this. Suppose the angles here are theta and theta. What's the requirement? The tension required, I hope this color is visible, the tension required to make the rope horizontal. So I can say that यहां से t का कंपोनेंट t cos थीटा, लेकिन यहां से होगा बेटा t sin of theta. One more component that's t का, यहां से that will be again t sin of theta. So we can easily write down the equation, that is 2t, the net upward force sin theta is equal to mg. The target for we people is tension, so t will be equal to mg divided by 2 times sin of theta. Now अगर आप बेटा इस रोप को हॉरिजॉन्टल बनाना चाहते हो, so that is same as आप थीटा को 0 बनाना चाहते हो. So to make this rope straight horizontal, to end this depression in the rope is same as making an angle, making theta equal to 0 degree. So the t will be equal to mg divided by 2 into sin 0. Sin 0 is 0, that will be 0, so that will be the not defined, or we can say the infinity. It implies the requirement of the force is infinitely large, or you can have the extract like this. जब तक इस पे ये mg है, with any amount of force, अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा फोर्स भी लगाओगे बेटा तब भी ये रोप horizontal नहीं बनेंगे. So infinite requirement of force suggests that with any amount of force you cannot end the depression in the string or rope, you cannot make it horizontal or flat or straight. So the option is infinitely large. Next one please. Asked question है बेटा, I guess the NEET 2019 or 2018. Okay. A block of mass m is kept on a wedge of mass capital M as shown in the figure such that mass m remains stationary with respect to wedge. The magnitude of the force P. But force से पहले we can easily talk in terms of the acceleration. हमें एक famous question मिलता है previous year papers में या तकरीबन हर एक बुक ने इसको दिया होगा और हर एक टीचर ने डिस्कस भी किया होगा definitely, that what's the relation between the a and beta या a and theta या a and angle of inclination such that the block will remain stationary with respect to wedge. Then the relation for everyone, it should be in your mind, a is equal to g tan of theta. याद रखना पड़ेगा. Even if I can derive, not the big issue, but just because of the importance I want to highlight here कि ये result हर एक के ज़हन में होना चाहिए. Now if you talk in terms of the force जिसको यहाँ पे P से represent किया गया है वो कितना लगाना पड़ेगा? Simply the force is given by the mass into acceleration. The force जिस mass पे लग रहा है, that is the combination of these two, wedge and the block. So it will be given by capital M plus small m into acceleration, that is g tan of theta. So check the option please, the third option, m plus m into g into tan of m plus m into g into tan of beta. Next one. A particle is projected from height h with the horizontal velocity u is time of flight. Fundamental question, but formula is important. एक particle को throw कर रहे हो with the velocity u, it follows the path like this. If it falls through the height h, then you must know the time of flight is simply given by root of 2h upon g, which is same as if the body is just released from the same height. Next one. Three blocks of masses m1 4 kg, m2 2 kg, m3 4 kg are connected with ideal strings passing over a smooth massless pulley as shown in the figure. The acceleration of the block will be. अब यहाँ पे देखो बेटा, what I'm going to do, I will treat these two blocks as a single block of mass m1 plus m2. Very simple. तो यहाँ से जो डाउनवर्ड फोर्स आपका होगा m1 plus m2, m1 plus m2 that is 6g. एंड ये आपका टेंशन टी और इस ब्लॉक पे डाउनवर्ड फोर्स दैट इज 4g और ये आपका बेटा टेंशन टी. सो इफ यू वांट टू टेक केयर ऑफ द एक्सेलरेशन, these two blocks will move down with the acceleration a, these two blocks will move up with the same acceleration a in magnitude. So acceleration will be given by the force favoring the motion, that is 6g, minus force opposing the motion, that is 4g divided by the total mass, if I'm not wrong, that is 4 to 4, that is 10. I can eliminate g कॉमन निकाल के और नीचे भी 10 है आपका. 6 minus 4 is 2 meter per second square is going to be the answer. Here it is. Next one please. If trolley accelerates horizontally with the acceleration a, then Bob, it's not Bob, it's Bob, is displaced backward from its initial vertical position. The angular deflection of the bob in equilibrium is. ये रिजल्ट भी आपके लिए एक स्टैंडर्ड रिजल्ट है, तो बेहतर होगा इसको आप याद रखेंगे. अगर डिराइव भी करना चाहोगे, नॉट द बिग इश्यू. द बॉब इज हैविंग द डाउनवर्ड फोर्स mg, the tension t here. You can resolve the t with the component here, that will be the t cosine of theta and t sine of theta. Then in the reference frame of the cart, you have to consider the pseudo force as well, that's ma. And in equilibrium, t sine theta will be equal to ma and t cos theta will be equal to, we will say, the mg. Dividing this equation by this equation, we can say bye bye to t, and t sine theta by cos theta is tan of theta is equal to m, and m can be eliminated. It will be a by g. Your famous relation है a is equal to g tan of theta. Now what is the target? The target is we have to calculate this angle. Acceleration आपको दी गई है, in fact that is given as the g by root 3 is equal to g. Angle is a requirement. G and G will go. Tan theta is equal to 1 by root 3. वो 30 डिग्री पे होता है. So 30 is going to be the answer. इससे पहले हम आगे बढ़े बेटा, I want to take some water. Alright, next question. In the situation shown, the reaction of mg is n. No, 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 that's wrong. अगर थोड़ा सा मैंने इसको डायरेक्टली हिट करेंगे, the situation is actually like this, जो हर एक के जहन में होगा. It is among the fundamentals but at the same time important. If you are having a block of mass m on the ground or on some surface, then block पे act करेगा downward force, we will say the mg. Now because of mg, the block will press the surface with the normal reaction n, जिसको हमने यहाँ पे n dash देखा होगा. फिर इसी n dash का reaction, that is when the block will press the surface with the normal reaction n as per third law, the surface will press back with the normal reaction n. So n is not the reaction of mg, n is the reaction of n dash, where n dash is the normal reaction on surface because of the block and n is the normal reaction on the block because of the surface. So the reaction of mg is n is $1,000,000% wrong. The reaction of n dash is n, where n dash is the pressing force exerted by m on surface. बिल्कुल सही है. n and n dash are equal in magnitude. बिल्कुल, just because they are action and reaction, so we can have the right option as both 2 and 3 will be the right one. Next one please. 5 forces. This question recalls me the question asked in the NEET 2018. Even if मैं बोलूंगा एग्जैक्टली ये क्वेश्चन नहीं था, बट बिल्कुल यही कॉन्सेप्ट, यही पैटर्न. व्हाट इज इट? 5 फोर्सेस, 5 फोर्सेस काम कर रहे हैं एक पार्टिकल पे. दे आर रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय द पॉलीगन एज शोन. अंडर दीज फोर्सेस वेलोसिटी विल, माय पीपल, यू वांट टू इंक्रीज और डिक्रीज और इन जनरल चेंज द वेलोसिटी, डेफिनेटली देयर इज द रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द फोर्स. अब बेटा याद कीजिएगा, वेक्टर्स में ही आपको पढ़ाया गया होगा. दिस इज Fi बाय द वे. तो वेक्टर्स में ही आपको पढ़ाया गया होगा बेटा that if the vectors close a polygon with the same order or same sense of direction, the resultant is simply the zero. And how to check the same order? You'll only witness the head-tail combination. So they are in the same order. So the net force in the given situation is going to be the zero. When the net force is zero, the acceleration is zero. When the acceleration is zero, the velocity is going to be constant. So it will not change. Next one please. Which of the following statement is most correct? It is possible for an object to have motion in the absence of forces on object. बिल्कुल, यूनिफॉर्म मोशन इज द मोशन जो आपको मिलेगी कि कोई फोर्स काम नहीं कर रहा है. It is possible to have a several force acting on an object in the absence of motion. Exactly. If there is no motion, that doesn't mean कोई forces पे act नहीं कर रहा है. You can have the multiple forces, but the net, the resultant, the total of those forces will be zero. So this is also right. So neither 1 and 2 is correct actually. Can I read them once again? It is possible for an object to have motion in absence of the forces. Yes, both 1 and 2 are correct. Next one. Two bodies of masses m1 and m2 are connected by a light string which passes over a frictionless pulley. So it recalls me of an Atwood's machine. If the blocks are having the acceleration of g by 2, then m2 by m1 is equal to, where m2 is greater than m1. So this is your Atwood's machine. The two blocks here, the m2, the m1. So m2 is greater than m1, it will move downwards with the acceleration a, and this guy will move up with the same acceleration a in magnitude. Then the acceleration can be written as m2g minus m1g divided by the total mass, that is m1 plus m2. But इस बार acceleration given है कितनी? It is g by 2 is equal to, यहाँ से it is m2g minus m1g divided by the total mass, that's m1 plus m2. What's the target? The target for v people is the ratio of the masses. So can you help me please? G can be eliminated on both sides from here. m1 plus m2 into 1 is simply m1 plus m2. On the right side, 2 times m2 is 2 times m2 minus 2 times m1. अब आइए बेटा इधर, minus 2 times m1 plus m1 is 3 times m1 is equal to, plus m2 को वहां पे लाओ, that will be 2 times m2 minus m2 is only m2. What's the target? m2 by m1. तो m1 को यहां पे लाओ, this will be the m2 by m1. On the left side you are left with the 3 only, so 3 or 3 is to 1 is going to be the answer, option 1. Next please. If pulleys shown in the diagram are smooth and massless, and A1 and A2 are accelerations of blocks 4 kilogram and 8 kilogram respectively. So this one is having the acceleration of A1 as per the question, and this one is having the acceleration, that is A2. Come on my people, have a look. So here I will say the tension T. With respect to this point, the tension T here. With respect to this point, the tension T here. Then definitely in this spring, you will be having the tension 2T. अब यहाँ पे I will try to relate the two accelerations, which is in fact the demand, by using the power method. तो यहाँ पे टेंशन T है, एक्सेलरेशन A1 है, और उनके बीच का एंगल 180 है, cos 180 is -1, प्लस यहाँ पे टेंशन जो है वो 2T है, और एक्सेलरेशन मेरा A2 है, और एंगल द टेंशन टुवर्ड्स राइट, द एक्सेलरेशन टुवर्ड्स राइट, cos 0 is 1 is equal to 0. I am just using, I hope आपके जहन में होगा, summation of all T dot A's is equal to 0. That's your power method. Alright. So T can be eliminated on in both terms. So what next you are left with? A1 into -1 is minus A1, तो वहां पे लाओ तो प्लस A1 बनेगा, और यहां पे आपका क्या बचेगा? 2 times A2. So A1 is equal to 2 times A2. The option 2 is the right one. Next one please. A ball is projected from the top of a tower at an angle 60 degree with the vertical. What happens to the vertical component of its velocity? If I draw the physical situation, let's suppose this is the x-axis or the horizontal. A body is projected in this way. It will follow the path like this. Now the question is, what happens with the vertical component? My dear, from the point of projection to the highest point, the vertical component will decrease, then it will start increasing, बिल्कुल ground तक पहुंचने में. So first it decreases, then increases will be the right one. Next one please. An external force is required to keep a body in motion. No, it's wrong. Motion can exist without forces, uniform motion. If the net external force is 0, a body at rest continues to remain at rest, and a body in motion continues to move with a uniform velocity. That is million% right. In fact, the first law. So we can say the assertion is wrong or false, but the reason is true. The fourth option. Next one. From the top of a building of height h, one body is projected horizontally with the velocity u, and another is just released. The ratio of the time of the flights is 1:1 directly. The time of flight for both particles will be root of 2h upon g. So it will be only decided by the height from which they are dropped, as they are dropped from the same height. एक को drop किया गया, दूसरे को throw किया गया, but horizontally. Next one please. A food packet is dropped from a helicopter which is going horizontally with velocity u. Ignoring air resistance, initial velocity of the food packet is u. Even if the questioner uses the term dropped, but just because the food packet was the part of the chopper, was the part of the helicopter, so it will be having the initial velocity same as that of the chopper. So that is initial velocity of the food packet is u. Food packet will follow the parabolic path. बिल्कुल सही है. Initial velocity of the food packet is 0. No, it's u. So both 1 and 2 is going to be the right one. Next one please. For a free body diagram shown in the figure, the four forces are applied in the x and y directions. What additional force must be applied so that the net acceleration of a body is 0? For the net acceleration to be 0, the net force is going to be 0. अब diagram को hit करो. 6 Newton on this side, 5 Newton on this side. So you need an additional 1 Newton along the x-axis, so that it will become the 6 and 6 will be 0 in the opposite direction. 7 upwards or along the positive y, 8 along the negative y. So again you need an additional 1 Newton force. So if you talk about the total force required, that will be the vector sum of this 1 Newton and 1 Newton. So they are perpendicular. Root of 1 square plus 1 square will be root 2 only. So root 2 Newton is going to be the answer. Next one please. 3 blocks with masses m, 2m and 3m are connected by strings as shown in the figure. After an upward force F is applied on block m, the masses move upward at constant speed v. What is the net force on the block of mass 2m? My people, as the whole system is moving with a constant velocity, so the net force on the whole system, therefore the net force on all the components or all the blocks will be 0. So the right option is 0. Just because it is mentioned, it is highlighted, they are moving with the velocity which is constant, therefore the net force is 0. Next one please. If external force on a body is 0, its acceleration is 0. That is million% right. This is a simple form of the Newton's second law. Yes, you can prove the assertion based on F is equal to ma, which says that if F is 0, the A will be 0. So assertion and reason are true, and reason is the correct explanation as well. Next one. In the situation shown, the force exerted by block on the floor of lift is, my people, the block is going down with the acceleration that is equal to the g. अगर आप इस ब्लॉक की फ्री बॉडी डायग्राम बनाओगे, the downward force you will be having the 5g. Because of that, it will press the surface with the normal reaction, and as per third law, it will be pressed back. Then in the reference frame of this elevator, which is having some acceleration, you have to consider the pseudo force also in the upward direction, that will be the ma. So in the reference frame of this elevator or the lift, the block will be still in the state of rest, so the net upward force n plus ma will be equal to, we will say, the 5g, or I can generalize it as mg. अब यहाँ पे देखो बेटा, n will be given by mg plus ma को वहां पे लाओ तो माइनस ma है. अब a भी आपका g है, so it has to be the 0. या बेहतर होता कि अगर आपके जहन में स्पेशल केसेस आते, the elevator is falling freely, your acceleration is given as the acceleration due to gravity. In that case, the net pressing force, the normal reaction is, my dear, 0. Next one, please. The correct statements, statement is R. Normal reaction becomes 0 when contact is lost. Yes, my people, it's an example of contact force. The essential, one of the essential condition is that कि दो bodies या दो surfaces का एक दूसरे के साथ contact में होना. Tension is always directed away from the tight ends. बिल्कुल सही है. If the spring slacks, loose जब हो जाएगी, tension becomes 0. बिल्कुल सही है. So all are correct, my people, is the right one. Last but one. From the top of a tower, 20 meter high, a ball is thrown horizontally. If the line joining the point where it hits the ground makes an angle of 45 degree with the horizontal, then the initial velocity of the ball is. So if I draw the physical situation, we are having some tower जहां से आप एक बॉडी को थ्रो कर रहे हो horizontally with the velocity u. It follows a path like this and lands somewhere here. Now the question says the line joining the point of projection and the point of landing, that is making an angle of 45. The height is given, if I'm not wrong, yes, that's 20 meter. अगर ये angle 45 है तो ये angle भी 45 होगा. तो based on that, it will be the right isosceles triangle, so this will be also the 20. So it's a case when the height is same as the range. What's the target? The target is the initial velocity. I hope it is clear. So the height is equal to the range, या h is equal to range होता है बराबर u into root of 2h upon, we will say, the g. What's the target? The target is, my people, u. अब यहां पे आओ, h is given. Yeah, I want to go for the squaring, but I don't think उसकी मुझे कोई जरूरत है. या चलो करते हैं squaring. So यहां से बनेगा h square और g यहां चला जाएगा, ये वाला बेटा, और 2h डिनोमिनेटर में आएगा और यहां से आपका u स्क्वायर बचेगा. अब एक काम करो, एक h और स्क्वायर चला गया, h आपका 20 है, 20 into g, that's 200 by 2, that's 100. So u square is equal to 100, yeah, u will be equal to 10. 10 meter per second is the right answer. Last question. A body of mass 10 kilogram is acted upon by two forces, each of magnitude 10 Newton, making an angle of 120 degree with each other. Find the net acceleration. The acceleration will be given by the net force divided by the mass. अब आप देख सकते हैं दो forces काम कर रहे हैं, दोनों का magnitude same, that is 10 Newton. Recall the vector algebra अगर जहन में है, when the angle is 120, the resultant is also equal to the magnitude, so that will be the 10, the mass is 10, the acceleration is 1. अब अगर net force की calculation में दिक्कत आई, एक बात तो पक्की है, दोनों का magnitude 10. Recall the resultant of the vectors when the magnitudes are equal, that's given by the 2p cos theta upon 2. 2p, p आपको दिया गया है 10, that's the magnitude of the vectors. Theta was 120, 120 by 2 is 60, cos 60 is 1 upon 2, 2 and 2 will end with the 10. So that was from this session. So still, if anybody will face any difficulty in the understanding of the question, yeah, wants further explanation, you can WhatsApp on this number for further explanation if needed. It is 7006038556. See you next time, inshallah. Take good care of yourself. Thank you.